Hello humans, Master Dinnerflex here, bringing you the low quality content you deserve, and today a new archetype was announced, RB, and it is fascinating. The best description I could possibly give it is it reminds me of that old Yu-Gi-Oh card from Invasion of Chaos that was Orca of Darkness, or somewhere along the lines, but what it did is it had an effect to where it could tribute two other different monsters, and depending on what the monster was, gave it some kind of effect. Basically, it was ammunition for the card. Like, one of the torpedoes blew up monsters, one of the missiles blew up back row, I think was what it did. And that's what this archetype reminds me a lot about. So the Link monsters have their own independent effects, but the ammo itself actually has the effect. And while they're linked to an RB Link monster, they gain certain effects. Driller can quick effect, pay 500, pop itself in an opponent's monster. This might be spell speed 1, but it can blow up 2 monsters, and then do burn damage afterwards. And then this one, as a quick effect, can negate a spell and trap by destroying itself, and the spell, of course. And basically, the ammunition has the effect. And then, the ammunition itself are also like mini BA monsters, where they can special summon themselves out of the hand if you control no monsters or only RB monsters, which is pretty cool. But one thing I found very fascinating was that this archetype had a restriction that says you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except machine monsters with 1500 or less attack. Now that I find interesting, and I kind of want to show off my thoughts with that. Now for this quick combo, all we'll need is Cyber Dragon Core and another type of card I have set on the field. So on normal summon, we will go ahead and normal summon Core, and that can allow us to search any Cyber Spell or Trap card. Now the one we're going to search is actually going to be, if I can find it, Cyber Repair Plant. Cyber Repair Plant is basically a search spell like Cyber Emergency, except the only difference is it's not really a starter, because in order to activate it, you have to already have a Cyber Dragon in your graveyard. Luckily, this is a Cyber Dragon engrave, but we'll get to it in a moment. But the other type of card we need is a continuous spell card, and I bet you can guess why that is. And this should kind of get a hint when I read that stat line what I think you might want to do with this archetype. So we are going to link this off into Clockwork Knight, which will send off this continuous spell to go ahead and search Clockwork Knight. Now, because we have a Cyber Dragon engrave, we will go ahead and search Cyber Repair Plant, which can go ahead and search any light machine in the entire game. That's one of the benefits of Cyber Repair Plant, is that it has no restriction on the light machine it searches, as long as you can get that prior activation condition down. So now, Cyanos, Pillar of the Future Cyanos, is always a Sky Striker card. You can special summon it from the hand by discarding one spell, and when it's normal or special summoned, you can special summon a Rose from your deck or graveyard, but you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except machine monsters. Darn, what a crazy restriction. But before we do anything, we are going to go ahead and banish Clockwork Knight from the graveyard to search an Earth Machine, which of course will be Regulus, and you'll see why we need this out of the way first. We are going to link these two off into one of the Sky Strikers cards the TCG is due for, Camellia, and if we have less than three or less spells engraved, we can go ahead and dump a Sky Striker spell to the graveyard, or Sky Striker card, really. We'll dump Engage. Next, we will link this Ace monster into Kagari, which will go ahead and grab back Engage. Next, we will link these two machines into the first RB Link monster. When this one is summoned, we can add any RB spell from our deck to our hand, and we'll get the first one, which will be RB Stage Landing. And that allows us to special summon any RB monster from our deck or extra deck with a different name than monsters we already control. So we will go ahead and get Driller. Now for this combo, we don't utilize this effect, but this has another really, really strong effect, where if there is an RB monster in our graveyard, this card can move itself out of the main monster zone, out of the extra monster zone, to special summon that monster. But we're not going to play it here. Instead, we are going to make the Link 3, which of course will be Brute Blues. And during the main phase, this can search any RB card. Wow. After I was so rudely interrupted, we can search any RB card from our deck to our hand, and we are going to search the field spell. And on activation, this is going to blow your mind. This searches a card on a field spell. I know, this is a revolutionary effect. And we are going to add Cutter. And before we summon any more monsters, let's go ahead and activate Engage. And now we can search different types of back row. Here's the two I'm going to show off. So this is the one I really want to show off, but regardless, we'll get one of them. And we get a fresh card because we have 3 spells engraved now. Very cool. This one I'll have set for later. Now, we can special summon Cutter, and this one is a spell trap negate by destroying itself, so we have a spell trap negate here. Cyanos is a Mizuki in your graveyard for exactly Rose, so we will go ahead and do that, and then link it off into a new Skystriker Ace monster, Prototype Skystriker Ace Amatetsu. And this one, if your opponent activates a monster effect on the field of a monster with 2,000 or more attack, you can change its effect to destroy one Skystriker Ace Link monster your opponent controls. Basically, it says, your monster effect is now blow me up. And then if they don't do that, when an attack is declared involving an opponent's monster, this can blow itself up instead. So, yeah, this is a very cool card, very interesting disruption. And then finally, we can special summon Regulus by equipping a machine from our graveyard, and we will go ahead and do Clockwork Knight. Now, let's do a head count. This is a spell and trap negate, and when you do, it pops itself, and that allows Funk Dock to trigger when an RB monster leaves the field by a card effect. You can special summon one with a different name from your deck, so we will trade this spell or trap negate for a monster pop. So we have spell trap negate, monster pop, Omni negate, monster effect negation, and then this is what's interesting. Of all the Skystriker back row in the game, this is the only one that doesn't require you to keep in mind your main monster zones. It's the only one that does it. So, that's really cool. You target an equal number of Skystriker Ace monsters and Skystriker Ace spells in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then you can return one to your hand, 1 card on the field for every 3 shuffled. So we only have Engage and this currently, so we can shuffle this, and when you do, you get a bounce, but this is the only one that can be activated when you have, while you have extra main monster zones filled, which is pretty cool. But let's say the continuous spell you didn't send wasn't a Skystriker monster, or even more so, you're not going all out with the Cyber Dragon core, you can still get Widow Anchor. Because even though your main monster zones are filled, they're filled with a monster that takes itself off the board, there's a monster that takes itself off the board, and this and the other one are a monster that takes itself off the board. So even if you can't utilize this card to its full potential, it kind of doesn't matter because you can still go for the OG back row because all the monsters you have currently take themselves off the board. Not to mention, going back to this card, once it sends itself to grave, let's say you only shuffle back Engage and a random link. If a monster in your opponent's extra monster zone is destroyed, which is very possible, the Rose will come back, and that can allow this to trigger Engrave, which can tag the Rose into another Skystriker monster, which is very neat. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. This is just like one demonstration I wanted to show off with these cards because they're very, very fascinating. I really like my comparison with the Orca monster because it really feels like this is ammunition for this deck list. And because all these cards like load up on more ammunition, you get like the benefit where you can kind of load up on these cards. And because they're just asking for machine support, there's a lot of cards like that. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching. And remember, Master Dinner Flex will take your soul.